Hello, and welcome back to another episode of MoJo, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the one and only Powerpuff Girls / JoJo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast. I'm Raven.
And I'm Alison.
Today we are going to be discussing the episodes Catmandu and Impeach Fuzz. I'm gonna get on into it because I don't believe there's any new PBG news today, or any JoJo news for that matter. So I'm just gonna start talking about Catmandu. We start off with a man holding a cat gloating about making some sort of hypnotic device with a special jewel, only to get his shit rocked by the PPG. The police arrest him and the facility goes on red alert. It blows up, and Bubbles rescues the kitty the man in the red suit was holding. They take the kitty home and debate whether or not they should tell the professor about him, because they're worried he won't let them keep the kitty. Buttercup doesn't want to keep the cat at first because she thinks she'll have to be the one who takes care of him, but she falls in love with the cat when he plays with her yo-yo. The professor shows up when he hears laughter in the girls' room and wants to know what they're so excited about.
Hey, what's so fun in here?
They try to hide the kitty, but it slides out from under the comforter. Girls all explain at once why they have the cat, and the professor says he remembers what it was like to be young and have a kitty. Or not a kitty, a pet. At first it seems like the professor isn't going to let them keep the kitty, but he was just teasing them and lets the cat stay for the night, and he says he's going to decide in the morning, basically. At bedtime, the professor once again noodles with nature in his laboratory when the adorable little creature wanders in. He wants the cat out of his lab at first, but he starts to play with the kitty and is taken with him as well. The next morning, the girls prepare a delicious breakfast to bribe the professor into keeping the kitty. They needn't have made the breakfast, however, as the professor readily agrees to keeping the cat. They mishear him at first, and Bubbles starts crying, and Buttercup kicks the giant stack of pancakes they made until they realize he said yes. When Bubbles asks to hold the cat, however, the professor says that none of them may ever hold him, and he takes off with the cat into his lab. In the lab, he invents under the cat's watchful eyes and banishes the girls from it. During the night, Professor and the kitty steal the very jewel from the beginning of the episode, the cat's eye jewel. The mayor calls the girls in the middle of the night to tell them that the cat's eye has been stolen again, and they are annoyed because they thought they'd already dealt with the man in the red suit from earlier. Bubbles posits that the man was never the thief, but that the cat had hypnotized him into stealing, but her sisters brushed this idea off. Meanwhile, the cat reveals his secret evil plan: to use the jewel to make every cat in a 15-mile radius the ruler of their houses. When the beam goes off, it causes a woman to let her cat eat her freshly cooked turkey, a man to let his cat back into the house and sleep in his bed. The man sleeps outside. Another person to let their cat shred the curtains. He holds the cat up and basically lets him shred him that way. And the mayor to groom his cat with his own tongue, which is just a ridiculous visual. The girls locate the source of the beam, and Bubbles is delighted to have been proven right. They fight the professor, who removes an axe in a very cat-like manner, until Professor accidentally knocks the kitty off the top of the building they're in. He leaps off the roof to retrieve his feline master, much to his daughter's horror. They're able to catch the professor before he can hit the ground, and Blossom punches him back to his senses. He remembers what happened, but thinks he must have dreamt it. The cat falls off the building and lands in a nearby tree and calls for help, but the narrator chastises him for asking. The episode title is a pun on Catmandu, the capital of Nepal. Professor Utonium develops a deep dislike for cats after this episode, which he mentions later on in Keen on Keen. The evil kitty is voiced by Mark Hamill, who most people know as Luke Skywalker or the Joker in many, many animated Batman series and movies. Do you have anything to add before I go on to the question?
Just the professor, when he's under the kitty's control, has cat eyes, and when he fights the girls, he kind of fights like a cat. And then there's a lot of play on the word cat, like catastrophe. The cat's in the bag. And it just kind of reminds me of the previous Sedusa episode with the I'm a Good Lady, where Professor is kind of easily comes to like the new person or creature and kind of turns against the girls easily.
He's very smart, but he seems like he's super gullible.
Yeah. So I think that's all I had to say.
Yeah. I also really liked the professor fighting like a cat. He kind of stood there with his back arched and his claws out in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he just has fingernails because he's human and not a cat. for some great visuals. So my question for this episode is, which animal would you most easily be hypnotized by? And I'm gonna have to say also a cat. I'm a huge cat person. I have 4 cats. The youngest one, I practically do her bidding all the time anyways. She loves the ice machine on the refrigerator. I see her go over there. I'm gonna press the button for her.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably be, like, a cat also, but, I mean, my little dog has me wrapped around her little paw, though, also, so. But yeah, the cats are usually, like, where they're asking for stuff a little bit more than the dog, I guess. The dog kind of whines, but...
I feel like the cats are able to communicate a little more specifically about what they want.
Most of the time, yeah. I kind of have to guess with the dog.
Yeah. I'm like, oh great, what are you whining about now? The cat's probably like, they're over by their dish and they're meowing and it's like half full, so you know, like, yeah, they probably want some more food.
Okay, so my episode is Impeach Fuzz, which is kind of a play on Peach Fuzz. And these 2 episodes were originally broadcast January 27th, 1999. So the episode starts out, the narrator introduces the mayor reading a speech where he has stolen a bunch of famous quotes. Miss Bellum notes that no one ever runs against him. The mayor says he is very political and likes kissing babies. The mayor campaigns so loudly that he awakens Fuzzy Lumpkins, who yells, "Shut up!" The townsvillians like this slogan, "Shut up," and want him to run for mayor. Fuzzy leads in the polls and somehow wins despite not even trying. The mayor is devastated. Fuzzy takes over the mayor's office and turns it into a pigsty. He calls Miss Bellum into his office, and she has been forced to dress like a barefoot Daisy Duke in short shorts and a bikini top and pigtails. He insists she speak like a hillbilly. Fuzzy calls the Powerpuff Girls for emergencies, which turn out to be that he wants them to catch his pig and do his laundry, fix his truck, milk a goat, and play music. The girls are exhausted and haven't been fighting crime since Fuzzy has become the mayor. They want the real mayor back and find him with Miss Bellum's help. The mayor is despondent because the city didn't elect him until Miss Bellum tells him that Fuzzy is wearing his hat. They decide to wrestle for the hat. Fuzzy brings in 3 of his Lumpkin's relatives, Fluffy, Harry, and I think the one is either Flurry or Furry. And the mayor picks the professor to help him fight. The professor is immediately knocked out. The mayor is flattened and clotheslined and body slammed. The girls join in because it's not a fair fight. Fuzzy puts the mayor's hat on and the mayor freaks out and soundly defeats Fuzzy. The mayor takes his hat back and is mayor again. The mayor's name is apparently just Mayor. I know we talked about that it's like maybe Barney.
Yes.
But in this episode, it's like the mayor is running for mayor. So maybe his wife knows it, but he just goes by Mayor.
It could be like...
Otherwise.
Yeah, it could be like actually his last name is Mayor and he comes from a long line of mayors or something, for all we know, but...
Yeah. The mayor now also has a pig and calls the girls to catch it. Oh, mayor. The narrator proclaims that the mayor always has his vote. Even though he's not a great mayor, but he knows not what to do when he's not mayor. I think he was like in that same sppat. Like,
yeah, I
he
think
just
so.
sat in that same spot while Fuzzy was mayor. Did you have any other things of note?
I guess not much major. I mean, I guess probably if I actually did have to pick between the 2 of them, if they were running for office, the mayor or Fuzzy, I at least would know that Miss Bellum would be there with the mayor.
And respected.
Yes. Yeah, she wouldn't be forced to run around in a skimpy outfit. She would be there to be one actually in charge and making sure shit got done. So I'd feel a little better knowing that, I think, than if Fuzzy's just like, I'm going to make these superheroes do all my chores for me. And that's basically his whole thing as mayor.
Yeah, they weren't even doing their normal superhero stuff while Fuzzy was mayor. I don't know if Fuzzy knew what being mayor meant. I'm not sure the mayor knows what Fuzzy, or what being mayor means, but...
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, would I run for office, and if so, for what? And probably I would not run for office. I do not like to be the center of attention or be in charge of anything. Maybe if it was something like a fan club or something along those lines, or something that I enjoyed belonging to that had something that you could run for, you know, like president or secretary, like a small time type thing, but I don't think that I would want to run for office. It takes a lot of money, and you've got to be out there like on all the time with your personality up and shaking hands, and it would be too much for me.
Yeah, I just have too much anxiety. I think I would not be probably fit to be in charge of like an actual political office. Yeah, I would just be too stressed all the time, I think. And I would worry I was doing the worst job possible. If I'd be in charge of something smaller and just for my own entertainment, it is fine. But if I had to be in charge of something important, I think I would stress myself out too much and end up doing a poor job because of it. So I guess before we sign off, I would like to add, in addition to my Buttercup fan page and the Facebook group, which are already linked in the episode description, we also have a Twitter, which is at MoJo's_bizarre, and an Instagram, which is MoJo JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, all one word, no punctuation. You can check those out for updates, and I also like to retweet Powerpuff Girls and JoJo news and fan art. And I guess, you know, if you've drawn any art inspired by the podcast, or like a Powerpuff Girls and JoJo crossover, that could be very fun to see if you like at us or tag us or what have you. But yeah, other than that, you know, it would be super cool if you could rate and subscribe on your podcatcher of choice, I should say. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. Maybe you have some trivia that we missed in these episodes. Maybe you also would like to answer our weekly questions. But yeah, this has been our 10th episode, and I'm really excited that we finally hit that milestone. We are also, I believe, at 101 downloads as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so very excited for that. And I believe we'll only have 3 more episodes of this season of Powerpuff Girls. And then we will be switching over to parts 1 and 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which are Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency. Thanks so much for listening. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.